How important is it for the U.S. to have a strong showing in these games?
The old saying applies here, everybody loves a winner. If the U.S., by the grace of God, reaches the semifinals or finals, it will be euphoria in America. I think you need to be realistic about it. When the U.S. is the 14th ranked club in the world right now, there are more countries that compete to get into the World Cup than there are nations represented in the United Nations. There are 32 countries that are fighting to win the World Cup that happens every 4 years. And if you think about the World Cup and what it represents, you hear in traditional American sports cycles, the world champion. It's probably a misnomer. The World Cup is truly the world's champion because it represents all cultures, all countries, and all people. And if it's the U.S. on a competitive level, it would be off the charts. Realistically, can the U.S. probably win the World Cup? I think most people would probably say they can't. But it's a competitive squad with very dynamic players. Certainly, we're all rooting for the boys in red, white, and blue.
If the U.S. flops, is this a deal breaker for this country, or does this event go beyond the U.S. faring well in this competition?
Look, if you look at the facts, if you look at where America's going, if you look at the internet, what that means for connecting people around the world. If you look at the fact that the world becomes a smaller place on a daily basis, the fact that American sports fans, soccer fans in this country can follow world clubs, they can follow Major League Soccer, they can follow the World Cup. If you look at the changing demographics of the United States, specifically the emergence and growth of the Hispanic consumer, I don't think that the U.S. maybe not, delivering some result, advancing, getting to the quarterfinals. And by the way, getting to the quarterfinals would be a phenomenal result if you're realistic about it. I don't think that that's going to kill soccer's growth and evolution in the States. What we're looking at here are all incremental gains, and it's the degree in which there will be incremental gains. Soccer's growth in this country, its impact, if you look at all the facts, it's inevitable.
What is the fighter doing as far as trying to piggyback onto this event with either promotions, try to mix it into what you're doing at Toyota Park?
We have worked very closely with the South African consulate here in town. We've worked very closely with the South African Board of Tourism. We will be engaged in viewing parties. We will really be engaged in bringing the game to life to the masses, and we'll also be on a match-by-match basis engaged in the community grassroots activities where people consume soccer on a day-by-day basis, primarily in the pubs. A lot of ethnic communities in Chicago, a lot of multicultural neighborhoods that have pubs and bars that really embrace the world's game. We will be actively engaged in that space.